Christians, when it comes to Daniel's 70 weeks, each week represents 7 years. 7 times 70 is 490. So Daniel's 70 weeks is a prophecy that is to take place over the course of 490 years from the going forth of the command by Cyrus to rebuild the temple and the city in troublous times. The 483rd week ends exactly at the time that Jesus begins his ministry at his age of 30 years old, which means that at the time Jesus begins his ministry, there are 7 years left in Daniel's 70 weeks or his 490 years. 3.5 years into the final week, which begins at Jesus beginning his ministry once again at 30 years old. 3.5 years in, when Jesus is 33, he is cut off, but not for himself, but for the people. His cut off means his death. The death and resurrection of Jesus Christ takes place coincidentally, but we know prophetically, but to the dispensationalists, it has to be coincidental. But 3.5 years into the ministry of Christ is when he's cut off. Coincidentally, that middle of that 3.5 years of the so-called 7-year tribulation, which the Bible does not teach, you say that a peace treaty ends. Many of you say that a peace treaty ends between the Antichrist and Israel. Now, it just so happens that takes place 3.5 years. According to the so-called tribulation theory, the first 3.5 years of the tribulation is peaceful. It just so happens that the 3.5 years that Christ is on earth, he's preaching the gospel of, guess what? Peace. And that peace is interrupted 3.5 years after Jesus begins preaching by him being crucified on the cross. The 70 years of Daniel has been fulfilled, and it was fulfilled at the cross. If you go look at the 6 tenets or the 6 series of items listed in Daniel 9:24, you will see that they are all fulfilled with the death and resurrection of Christ. He made an end of sins. He made a sacrifice for iniquity. He brought in everlasting righteousness. He sealed up the vision and prophecy. If you go back, that's just 3 of them. He listed 6. Read Daniel 9:24. I have it here on the screen. It lists all the things that Christ accomplished in Daniel's 70 weeks. Make no mistake about it. If the Daniel's 70-week prophecy has not been fulfilled yet, then none of these things are yet true. They have to be true in the future. But these things are true right now, or there are none of us who are saved. Be provoked and be persuaded.